everybody, and welcome to this week's second science lesson. So to get us warmed up, here's what I want you to think about, and it's something we discussed in the last science lesson. Alright, so this is a fossil. Is it living or is it not living? Just have a think. You might want to pause now, especially if you've got somebody with you to discuss this with. If not, that's fine though. Just have a think and hit pause now. Okay, so what do we think then? We've got a fossil. Is it living or not living? Well, remember there were some ways of telling if something is a living thing or not. We looked at it last time. So living things move or have the ability to move. They have the ability to reproduce, to create new life. They feed, okay, they need food. They produce waste and they need oxygen. Now thinking about a fossil doesn't do any of those things, does it? Okay, so it certainly doesn't move, doesn't produce waste, and so on. But do you remember last time we talked about the fact that fossils often were things that were actually alive, like dinosaurs, for example. And when a fossil was a dinosaur did move, reproduce, feed, produce waste, and need oxygen. So a fossil is in a kind of funny category, isn't it? It's not alive now, it's not now a living thing, that is not a living thing, but it used to be alive. So we have got three categories here that different things can be. Something can be living, okay, and by that I mean living now, so I am currently living, you are currently living, we are alive. And it can be used to be alive, okay, so not living now, like a fossil, okay, like some of the food we eat. If we eat meat, that was something that used to be alive but isn't alive anymore. So something can be living, it could be something that used to be alive, or it can be something that was never alive. Okay, so, for example, this wall behind me, that was never alive, okay? It was never something that did those things that it means to be alive. It never moved or reproduced or created new life or any of that stuff. Okay, so those are our three categories. Living, used to be alive, or never alive. Okay, now, last time in science, what you should have done was create your own little poster or checklist with those 5 categories, those 5 criteria for testing, for seeing whether something is alive or not. Okay, now your task today, what I want you to do on a bit of paper or in your book, I want you to create a table, okay? And your table needs 3 different columns, okay? One for living, one for once alive, and one for never alive, okay? Now what I want you to do is, first of all, I've sent you some different things. Quite a few of these are related to under the sea. So for example, I've got shark, wooden plank, jellyfish, anchor, so on, okay? And I want you to decide which category they go in and write them in. So for example, let's start with the shark, because this one's straightforward. What do we think? Is the shark living, no longer living, so once alive, or something that was never alive? What do we think? I think this is definitely something that is living, okay, because a shark does all of those things you need to do to be alive, okay? It produces waste, it creates new life, it reproduces, it needs food, and so on. Okay, so a shark, I'm putting there, and I'm just going to draw a little shark fin. Okay, let's go on to the rock. What do we think about the rock? Is the rock something that's living, once alive, or never alive? Have a little think. Well, for this one, I'm going to put never alive, okay? Because a rock certainly doesn't move, produce waste, create new life, and so on, okay? And it never did. It's not that it stopped doing those things, it never did. So it's something that was never alive, okay? And so on. So your job is to go through those things I've given you and decide and put them in your table, living, once alive, never alive. And you can write them in, and if you want, draw a little picture to go with them. If you would like to, it would then be great to maybe have a little hunt around your house, see what's around your house, and add some other things in, okay? So for example, well, I have got in this room, what have I got in this room? I have got this. I've got my Sooty puppet, okay? Here he is, hello. All right, so Sooty living, once alive, never alive. So what I do, I'd look back at the checklist, the poster I created last time. I'd go through all of these. Does it move? Does it reproduce? Does it feed? Does it produce waste? Does it need oxygen? And then I'd make my decision and add it. So start with the ones I've given you, okay? I've given you 9 things to classify, to categorize, okay? But once you've done that, you are more than welcome to add more things from around your house, things that you think of, all right? So you're creating your table today of things that are living, things that were once alive but no longer living, and things that were never alive. So have fun with this, and I look forward to, and Mr. Fenn looks forward to, seeing what you come up with today. Thanks for watching.